Oh, I used to be bad. I used to be real bad at night shifts. Now I'm pretty much a pro. That was cringy. And here's how I did it. Now, even if you're not into night shifts or you don't do them, guys, this advice is for everyone, because imagine you have kids or a puppy or jet lag. You need to get some advice on how to figure out when your life is upside down. Right now, it is nearly 8 p.m. For me, it's the morning, although my boyfriend did decide to wake me up at 5, which is like 5 a.m. for me, so not ideal. But anyway, 5 p.m. I got up, and I will be doing a shift from 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. So it's a pretty good one. 8 hours. Nice. I'm looking forward to that. Because it gets to 6 a.m. and you kind of like, on a normal night shift, you kind of want to die. Like, that is the real painful period, because you're like, I've still got 2 hours left. And I know you've done loads of it, but it's like, oh, like that. Yeah, anyway, that's the point mentally where I break. But as I spoke about in the last ep, I was an anxious mess before. Now, that could have just been my psychological state, but I think night shifts definitely didn't help. In fact, I used to get really bad anxiety on night shifts, like super bad, that I really struggled to do them. I couldn't sleep during the day, and I used to get like really anxious walking around at night, because I'd be like, this is so creepy. Someone's definitely going to come and attack me. Anyway, stick around to find out how to adjust your messed up sleep schedule, and some fun anecdotes along the way, because I was pretty much a mess last night and I was scared for anybody who caught me in the act of what I was doing. So let's get into it. Today we'll be covering a couple of common mistakes. Am I even in the screen? No. Oh my god, I nearly dropped my iPad then. A couple of common mistakes that people do on night shifts, mainly me, like I do them all the time, but I don't think I'm the only one. Food, showering and hygiene. If you're watching on the video, you'll see that my hair is wet and is not from grease, because my hair was pretty much like an Asian stir fry of noodles. Like, it was really greasy. So I washed it. Wow! So we'll be talking about showering and hygiene. It doesn't sound like I should be talking about that. It's like, come on, Dawn, like, obviously you're going to shower and be hygienic. When your schedule is messed up, you like normally have these habits, right? And then as soon as it's like, well, it's 5 p.m, should I brush my teeth now? And it's like, you need to figure out how to readjust your habits. Because usually I just go, oh, I've woken up, so therefore I will brush my teeth. I have had breakfast, therefore I will brush my teeth. Like, it's just this chain reaction. Whereas when you're on night shift, you're like, well, I've woken up, but it's 5 p.m. and it's dark and it doesn't feel right. Getting in and out of night shift life, sleeping tablets. I'm going to be covering the drugs because it's controversial, but potentially required. Boredom and food, in no particular order. Now, let's talk about getting in and out of night shifts. I have a routine. #routine. Did I just say that? So, for me, because I'm a night owl, I find getting in and out of night shifts fairly easy. Now, I know some people are like early birds. Rest in peace, you. This ain't going to be easy, okay? Now, I've given you a couple of options here, because it's not one size fits all. Depends how lazy you are. If you're lazy like me, I'm not lazy. I just quite like being in bed. It's cozy. It's warm. I feel supported. I'm lying down. It's dark. It's just nice, you know? Warm. I just love being warm. So I'm not lazy, but I do love being in bed. I might not even be sleeping. I'm just lying there. Anyway, getting into night shifts. So you're in daytime life and then you're like, right, I'm doing a night shift tomorrow night. Okay, don't start that night, like that day, being like, yeah, I'll just have a nap today and it'll be fine. No. Now, my biggest fear is being tired. I hate being tired so much, because it's like, are my eyes going to shut? Am I going to fall over? Am I going to fall asleep at the wheel? Am I going to kill someone? Those are all potentials. So I hate being tired. It's always just really painful to try and get through the day when you're like really exhausted. So for me, really trying to avoid tiredness is a big factor. I haven't even had a cup of tea today yet. Oh my God, what's going on? And I'm like chatty. no caffeine, and I'm chatty. Who'd have thought that could ever happen? I always thought they were like mutually exclusive. Like, wait, is that the right phrase? Not mutually exclusive. I don't know. Anyway, I thought like I always thought I can't be chatty without caffeine. In my head, I said heroin. I've never taken heroin, guys. Don't worry. In fact, that would not make me chatty whatsoever. But, so, you know, do you ever have that thing where sometimes your mind thinks something like really awful and you're like, did I just think that? Like, it's not like I'm going to do it, but my mind like comes up with these like really outrageous thoughts. Like, you're driving down the road and then your mind's like, I wonder what it'd be like if you ran that person over. And I like go through this scenario in my head. And I realised that it wouldn't be a good option for me or that person, but it still crosses my mind. The other thing is when something's really cute and you really want to squeeze it, but then you realise that because it's so small, because it's cute, because it's small, it is therefore cute, therefore you could kill it if you squeeze it. Anyway, I'm looking forward to spring. Lenny. Wait, what was Lenny's last name from Of Mice and Men? He squeezed a baby animal to death, didn't he? Cheerful! Anyway, the day before, let's say we're doing a night shift. Now, your days are going to get completely fucked up. You're like, what day is it? I have no idea. I don't even know. It's Thursday, apparently. But because you start and finish your day in 2 separate days, it feels like it's one day, but it's not. Plot twist. So, let's say I start my night shift on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Right, so on Monday, is it Monday? Wait there. What day did I just say? I can't even remember. Wednesday? Let's say you start your night shift on Wednesday night. Let me just figure this out. My days are so fucked up right now. I honestly don't know what's going on. My concept of time. Okay, I think I figured it out 5 minutes later. So I think on Tuesday, if you're starting your night shift on Wednesday, on Tuesday, you get up late in the morning. Yeah, that's how it works. You get up late, and if you need to, Monday night, go to bed late, if you need to. But you might be the kind of person a bit like me who can just stay in bed. I can just stay in bed till 1 or 2 p.m. No, maybe not 2. 12 or 1 p.m. And I'm like, this is fairly easy for me. Like, this isn't a difficult challenge. So stay up late on Tuesday. Then that means Tuesday night, you can try and stay up as late as you can. So ideally, stay up till like 3 or later if you can, but 3 is really where I make it. And then I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling this anymore. Then that's Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Then you go to sleep. Now there are 2 options here. 2 options, you're welcome. You can either, on Wednesday morning, get up early, like pretty early, like 7 a.m, although that may be normal for most people. 7 a.m, and then take a nap later in the day. So you do like some, chores, blah, 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 admin. And then you go, right, I'm going to go sleep at like 12 till 6 or whatever. If you can do that. Sometimes I just wake up and my body's like, that is enough sleep for you. You don't need any more beauty sleep. You are beautiful enough. So, but for me, what I do is I wake up late. Shocker here. There is a theme. Waking up late is my vibe. So I have no self-control. I'm sorry. If I'm tired, I'm just going to stay in bed. That's the case. So on Wednesday morning, I stay in bed as long as I can. And then, so let's say I get up at like 12 or something. Then I will aim to have a nap. Maybe like 1 or 2 hours in the late afternoon. I think this is like the easiest way to do it, but that's just me. It really depends on your like lifestyle. And if you've got kids, like that's going to be very difficult, but you can always try. But my problem is self-control and I get tired. So yeah, then I have a short nap. 2 hours is usually quite good, I would say. 2 hours is like a good, a little 4 till 6, something like that. Maybe, I think I went to sleep at 4 the other afternoon, and that was good. I think I woke up at 6 because I did start work at 8, so it was like I don't want to be like still in bed at 7. So yeah, that's for your first night shift. Now, as the night shifts go on, this will be easier. Don't worry, guys. It gets easier. And then you'll get home from work and you'll be like, shit in hell, I'm tired. And you'll just go to bed and then you'll wake up, or your boyfriend will wake you up at 5. So ideally, I probably would have gotten up at 6 to start at 10. I like to have a good few hours before the shift, because realistically, if you got home from a long day shift, you're not going to go to bed straight away. You're going to like sit about and do stuff after, like watch TV or like decompress or talk to people, play with your doggies, take them for a walk. Like, you're not just going to get home and go, right, it's time for bed at like 8:30. You might if it's been a really bad day, but for the most part, I would say you usually hang about for a couple of hours. So this is my hanging about period for a couple of hours. Okay, getting out of your night shift. Now, I'm doing 3 this week. Not so bad. People are like, oh my God, how do you... So it's Thursday night tonight. I'm then going to do Friday night, and then I'm going to work. So I'm going to finish on Saturday morning. Then I'm going to work on Sunday morning. That gives me 24 hours. People don't think that's long enough. It is. It is. I'll tell you how I do it. So Saturday morning, I go to sleep when I get back, because I'm usually dead. I'm like deado. Go to sleep when I get back, which is usually about 8:30, 9 in the morning. Everyone's always like, is that in the morning or the night? I'm like, guys, it's a night shift. Like, I don't know why you're asking me this, but I'm going to clarify just to avoid confusion for everybody involved. So then I go to bed. Now, ideally, you'd wake up at like 3 maybe, or ideally earlier. Again, I have no self-control. So ideally, you wouldn't go to sleep at all. But that is not my vibe whatsoever. I'm like, no, I need to sleep. So what I do is I go to bed and then I wake up. So last time I woke up at 6, which was a little bit dangerous. Then I went to sleep at 12. I needed a Nitol, like a sleeping tablet. I only take half because otherwise I don't wake up the next day. Or it's very difficult, because it's just half is enough for me. Basically, I need enough to make myself tired to go to sleep, and then once I'm asleep, I'm fine. Now that I'm over the depression, I don't get early waking. Woo! That was the other thing, was when I did night shifts before, when you're really depressed, you wake up early and then you just can't go back to sleep. So it's like the equivalent of waking up at like 3 a.m. and then you're like, okay, no one's awake and I'm alone and I'm depressed and I'm with my thoughts. Things could not be worse. So I took half a sleeping tablet. Ideally, I would get up at like 1 or 2, not need a sleeping tablet, and then go to sleep at like 11 and then wake up at 6. That's my vibe. Now, some people get home and they just go, I'm not going to go to sleep. And I'm like, how? There are some people. 2 people thrive on night shifts. Number 1, the person who doesn't need much sleep will cope on 4 hours sleep. I know a couple of those people. They do very well on night shifts because they can stay up on, the day before and they can not get much sleep during the day, and then they can stay awake after their night shifts. Or the person who's like me, who can stay in bed forever. Because if you're organised and you don't have a lot of stuff on, which is, that's where you need to be organised, don't plan anything, you can then just stay in bed all the time. And it's like a little, party. It's a great time. I'm like, I get to stay in bed for a whole 12 hours today. I'm not asleep that whole time. My eyes are shut. People think Dawn's asleep because her eyes are shut. No, that's not the case. I just play very good sleep. What? I play asleep very well. Okay, that's how you get out of night shifts. That's well, whilst we're on it, let's talk about sleeping tablets. I'm not opposed to them. I use half a Nitol, which is 25 milligrams of diphenhydramine. Diphenhydramine. Oh, I was nearly there. It's basically an antihistamine, and I was going to say you could also use antihistamines. You don't have to buy Nitol. Probably cheaper, just to get some chlorphenamine, which I think is also a drowsy antihistamine. You need to get a drowsying one, not a non-drowsying one. Just Google it. I can never remember. I have to check every time. I think chlorphenamine is a drowsying one, and then there are some. They affect me quite a lot. I get so drowsy. So even the non-drowsying ones, I'm like, a nap might be in order. But I can usually stay awake with the non-drowsy ones. The drowsying ones are great for flights, are great for night shifts, are great if you're an insomniac because they're not addictive. The issue is some people use other drugs, danger drugs. Number one, opioids. Now you might think, oh my God, I'm not a heroin addict, but you don't have to be a heroin addict, guys. You can get something called codeine, or you can probably get other things in America, but codeine you can get over the counter here. Not at like huge strengths, but you can get it. Anyway, it's pretty addictive. I have it from when I had a knee injury, and I've had it about 3 years, and I use it very, very infrequently. And 15 milligrams is enough to knock me out for 12 hours. So I very rarely use it unless I'm in like really significant pain. And actually I will prefer, for sleep, I'd prefer to use antihistamines. Other people, now this is a really naughty one, I think worse, is because it doesn't even make you sleep better. That's how it's dangerous. Alcohol. People go, oh, I'm just going to have a nightcap to make me go to sleep. No, guys, please avoid alcohol at all costs when trying to sort out your sleep or whatever. It might make you feel tired, but it actually doesn't help you sleep. Like, it makes your sleep really light. Like, you don't get into a deep sleep whatsoever. It helps you get to sleep, but your sleep is then really disturbed. You wake up more tired the next day. And of course it's addictive. And of course it gives you reflux. And it's got loads of calories. And it's really crap for you. So it's like the worst option. Like, please, if I save one person from deciding that they're going to use alcohol to try and go to sleep, stop it now. I have fulfilled my life purpose if I do that. So yeah, I would say don't use them frequently. Like, if I can go to sleep without a Nytol, like without a sleeping tablet, great. I won't use them. I will avoid them. But unfortunately, sometimes it is the case. And I had some really bad insomnia at some points, and I've had to use them just to try and sort out my sleep, because I was going to sleep at like 3 a.m. and I was like, this is exhausting, I've still got to live a life, but my body just ain't letting me, / my mind. Anyway, it sorted out my sleep routine, but I'm not saying it's for everyone, and I'm not saying it's necessarily a good idea, but it's like a last resort kind of situation. Okay, now we move on to food. Okay, now I'm going to tell you my really tragic story that happened to me early hours of this morning, technically. There I was, pretty bored. I'll cover boredom in a minute, but I was pretty bored. I was like, there's nothing to do. So I did some stuff on my iPad. I did some stuff I obviously checked to see there was nothing to do. There wasn't. So I always get this guilt when there's nothing to do. It's like, I could definitely do something, but what? And then, I don't know, this is a big doctor guilt, I feel. I think we're always so busy that it's like, if we're not busy, it's like, you're lazy. You're not working hard enough. You're shit. Why are you working and why are they working and you're not? You're getting paid for this and you're not doing it. And it's like this constant negative feedback in your head of you're not working hard enough. You're lazy. And it's like, I'm not. There's just nothing to do. But I'm so unused to this state that I don't know what to do with myself. So anyway, I went and did a naughty. I did a very naughty deed indeed. Oh, didn't expect that. I went and I found biscuits. That's not even the worst part, guys. I found biscuits and then I found chocolate spread. And you might think, okay, Dawn ate chocolate spread out of the jar. Fine, we've all been there. No, it was even worse than that, because instead of eating it on toast or, you can probably see where this is going, or on the spoon, which I feel is probably more acceptable as long as you don't double dip, I decided that dunking hobnobs, chocolate covered hobnobs, into chocolate hazelnut spread, which is literally 50% sugar, would be a good idea. And there I am, standing in the office, thinking, if somebody walks in now, I'm not sure how I'm going to explain this. There are spoons on the side. I could have taken the less judgmental option, but there I was, dipping hobnobs, I'm getting flashbacks, dipping hobnobs into what was, fake Nutella, basically. My excuse is, well, I'm just, saving the environment. Less spoons, less washing up, right? So there we go. Anyway, apart from that and eating a substantial amount of chocolate, which I definitely shouldn't. Anyway, guys, I think I've gotten thinner because I can actually like see my pubic hair now. So I probably shouldn't have said that, but I already did. I have to suck in a little bit, but I can see it when I look down. I feel like it's been a long time since that's happened. It's not as easy as if you're a guy. Guys' bits stick out, women's don't. So it's actually quite a feat if you're not that skinny to be able to see right down there. Anywho, guys, for food, it's the same times, but it's just the opposite. It's easy. You eat breakfast at 8 a.m, eat dinner. Wait, you eat breakfast at 8 a.m, eat breakfast at 8 p.m. You eat lunch at 1 p.m, eat lunch at 1 a.m. You eat dinner at 6 p.m, eat dinner at 6 a.m. You just swap the times. It's like not that hard. Unless you're doing like a weird night shift where it's like kind of a twilight, that does kind of fuck you up a little bit. If you're doing like a 4 till midnight or something, then you kind of get on your shift and you're like, well, I'm 2 hours in, it's 6 p.m. I don't really feel like it's time for food. So you end up eating at like 8 or 9. Tea and coffee, or just generally caffeine drinks. Stay away from them after 2 a.m, sorry. Some people are fine. They can drink caffeine all night long and they are fine. They can go to sleep. I'm not one of those people. You just need to figure out if you're one of those people or not. But it wires me and my mind goes a-racing. Showering and hygiene. So I'm going to now brush my teeth at 8 p.m. I didn't brush them when I woke up because what I do, shock horror, is I eat and then wait and then brush my teeth. I've already brushed my teeth when I went to bed, right? And not eaten anything. So they're protected. So I wake up, brush my teeth, and I brush my teeth before I go to work because otherwise you get stinky breath. Now, what I used to do was take my toothbrush to work. But actually what I found that is if you brush your teeth after breakfast, like right before you leave to go to work, you're actually okay. And if you don't go to sleep, take a toothbrush. I don't know what it does, but it fucks up your mouth. It like makes you stink. And I just don't like stinking. It's like one of my biggest fears. So it really depends on your situation. I'm a non-sleeper during night shifts. I don't think it's a good idea. And, sometimes I don't have a choice anyway. But definitely tonight I won't because I'm in the emergency department and they're not going to let me sleep. That's for sure. But maybe on like a ward cover shift, like you might be able to. Hygiene is quite difficult, I think. Now, I've obviously showered this morning, as in this morning is this evening, but this morning for me. Ideally, I like to shower before I go to bed, but the issue is my partner's often asleep. And the shower is right next to the bedroom. I don't think he'll appreciate me turning it on and making loads of noise at 8 a.m. in the morning. He's not an early riser as well. Rest in peace, our children. They're just never gonna see their parents in the morning. So what I did this morning / last night was I actually had like a little baby wipe freshen up, which is not ideal, but it got me through. Obviously then I brushed my teeth before I go to sleep. And so I did my feet, my under boob, and my bits, and my face, not in that order. And then I brushed my teeth, and then I got into bed. Perfect. Boredom. Oh my God. Last night was relatively Q word, as in I'm not allowed to say it. Maybe you're allowed to say it when you're not on the shift. Anyway, it was quiet. So it was a bit boring. I think sometimes you literally have done all of your work and you're like, there's no one to see. Obviously there's always more to do. Like you could go and do somebody else's job, but it's like, why punish yourself? Like you can help other people, but sometimes too many cooks spoil the broth, and it's like, give yourself a rest. Come on, we don't need to be working all the time. But keeping yourself busy is important. Last night I took my iPad. It was pretty much a game changer. I think I would have lost my mind otherwise. The issue is if you start watching TV, if you start scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, your dopamine is like ding, 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 ding. And then when you stop, your brain's like, wait, no, I want that back. Come back. nothing will ever fulfill my dopamine needs as much as this anymore. So then working just seems like a really bad idea, even more of a worse idea than it did before. So I think keeping yourself busy, either taking a book or a magazine, or I take my iPad and just I wrote this podcast outline actually last night. I mean, it didn't take me very long, guys. Probably like 15, 20 minutes, but it's called multitasking. So I did that. A book is nice and easy. You want one that's easy that you can just pick up and put back down. You're like, bam, bam, bam. And then, you don't want one where you have to like get into it and you need to be engrossed. Because the issue is you're still at work and I don't really have like set breaks. Like you just sort of have a break when you don't have any work. So you don't want to get into something that you're like not going to want to put down. And actually, because otherwise you get into this thing of being like, oh God, they're making me work. Like I was totally reading a book. How dare they? And it's like, no, Dawn, you are at work and you should actually probably just do your work. Like, so you want something like a magazine is quite easy because it's like kind of low effort. A book can sometimes get like, if it's like a novel, I think sometimes you get too into the story and you're a bit like, oh, I don't want to leave. When I read Harry Potter, I like couldn't stop. So don't take Harry Potter. The problem is when you get to 3 or 4 a.m. and it's like you're too tired to really want to do anything, but you're also bored because sometimes there's nothing to do. That's the danger zone. Oh no, I'm starting to yawn, sorry. Danger zone. I started talking to people. I'll just try and find something to do. I'm like, I'll just go and do a cannula, or I'll go and do an ABG or something, arterial blood gas, where you stick a needle in someone's artery. And I did quite a few of those last night because I was struggling. I was like, time was just going quite slowly and I didn't want it to. So I thought, you know what, I'll just go and do something. Also, it needed doing. I wasn't just doing them for fun. So yeah, I do think just filling your life up with those little tasks, I mean, they need to be done anyway. So it's like, you're just helping someone out. And it does stop the time from going extremely slowly. But like I said, it is like an easy fix to just go, oh, I'll just get my phone out and I'll just look at like TikTok or whatever. I'll just look at shorts. And then I just feel dead inside afterwards. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do anything else because it doesn't feel as good as what I was just doing. So that is the danger. I think I spoke about it last time. I've kind of spoken about it already. Guys, don't plan things for the day. That's a common mistake with night shifts. I unfortunately haven't gone to see my horse in a few days because of night shift life and also because my car's broken. I probably would have gone had my car been back because I got up at 5, so like I definitely could have done something in the evening. However, I'm talking to you, so just don't be like, yeah, I'll come to lunch at 2 p.m. when you've got a night shift that night. Like, no. It's a dangerous move. I've fucked myself over many a time by doing that. Not by lunch, but like agreeing to doing stuff. And then I'm like, oh my God, I've got to go to bed. And then I'm like, but then I've got to go to the pharmacy and then I've got to pick my car up and I've got to go and meet this person. And it's just exhausting. I mean, it's exhausting in the day, let alone when you have to be up for 12 hours overnight. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I do have lots of new episodes coming up. They're in the mix. They're ready to go. Wow, I just haven't recorded them yet because I'm not lazy. I'm just disorganized. So, but they will be out on a Thursday. Unsure what time. Currently, this one's probably going to be out about 8:30. So thanks so much for listening, guys. If you'd like to give it a like, if you want to subscribe, you can do that. And leave me some fan mail. If you're on like Spotify or my Buzzsprout website, my podcast website, you can do that somehow. Just find it and say, hi Dawn, love the podcast. Maybe you could do an episode on this. Or hi Dawn, constructive feedback, the end. Okay, thanks for listening, guys, or watching. And I'll see you in the next episode. Big old kiss on your little fuzzy head.